Hello, lovelies. This is Lynn, and Jane is away now. So she and I were reading earlier today. Today is Sunday, February 23rd, by the way, that we're doing these readings, and she had some other things to do. So I'll be finishing my readings for the week now on my own, and let's get into the politics. As you know, lots have been going on. Um, for this reading, I asked the cards what is happening between Steve Bannon and Elon Musk. This last week at CPAC, I'm sure you all probably saw some of the videos and the posts on social media regarding Elon getting that giant chainsaw and his response to it. But what really stood out to me was the fact that Steve Bannon was at CPAC and one of the speakers, and during his speaking time at the podium, he used an arm movement reminiscent of 1940s in Germany. And so I want to read on what is happening there, the dynamics, because Steve Bannon was very anti Starboy. Um, and now it's like he's flipped the page. And I will say this, Bannon is very much an anarchist and a nihilist. He speaks about wanting to see a complete government downfall and rebuild, but I'm not sure that he realizes what he's saying he wants versus what reality is of that. So let's take a look at what the cards had to say. And what the cards are the Stardust Shadows cards. It's a Tarot Oracle combination, and further into this reading, you'll see what I mean by that. And this is one of the Trish James, Trishe, James, Jaimes, Oracle cards. So it's trishjamesoracle.com if you're interested. All right. So, and these cards are such that, like on the tarot side, you can read them reversed if that's what you wish to do, but I'm not reading this one in reverse. So, all right. So, at the center of everything is Starboy, and he is our producer, the King of Wands, um, crossed by endings and death. Oh, my light is such that you can't see these real well. I'm sorry, these are high gloss cards. At the base of everything is who's the facilitator? Who's making all of this happen? This is the Knight of Wands. Who's allowing it to happen? Felon 45, that's who's allowing it to happen. Energy falling away is their celebration. Their Three of Cups is moving away. Overarching energy is they're hoping to get away with it. Six of Swords. They are, hoping to not have any repercussions, negative repercussions in their life, that we will just sit back and just let it happen because everything is fine. Life is good. You and I are great. Just great. Life is good. No, that's not happening that way. And I just realized that I missed a card. So let me scoot some things around. I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. Okay. And so energy that is coming to bear is a change of course, the Two of Wands. And I'm telling you what, I think I'm ready for that. Depends on what we're asking for. If what you ask for, you might get it. So that is coming to bear, and that is imminent. So that's this week, next week. All right, let me push these aside, and I'm going to keep these hopefully in the same format because in a few minutes I'm going to flip them over and read them as oracle cards. All right. So I've spoken about this in the past. I do a modified reading, modified Celtic cross, and my modification is that I use three of the cross lines, the long pole side, as opposed to one. This first line is 0 to 3 months. Second line is 3 to 6. Third row is 6 to 12. All right. So the energy that they see for themselves is the socialite, the Queen of Cups. They're the social butterfly. They're the ones having a good time. At what cost? The rest of us feel like we're trapped. Eight of Swords. The hopes and fears of the future is alliances, Two of Cups. And I feel like we all recognize, or a significant portion of us recognize what the felon and his cohorts have done to our relationship with our allies. Um, to say that it is damaged is an understatement. My hope is that it is repairable. And then 3 to 6 month future is negotiations. Our so 0 to 3 months is negotiations. 3 to 6 months, how they see themselves. They're the procurers. They're the ones who get things done. Oh, interesting. As I'm holding this card, I feel like there has been a major shift by this point in leadership. Okay, if what I'm feeling in my head is true, may it be so. Um, Outside, externally, how it's viewed is fatality, death. And again, if this card, if what I just saw in my head, and I don't want to speak too much about it right this moment, I need to write some notes down and consider it in depth, but let me just say it's a big deal. And I don't know if this death card here, the Ten of Swords card, is hmm, oh, I got a lot going on up here. Uh hmm, my goodness. This feels like, so for this one, the procurer is the one who gets things done. They obtain things, they sell things, but they also make things happen. Uh, I feel like by this point, it's an entire new regime at the head of our country. And if that's the case, then what's there right now has had a fatal blow to it, but also this could be physical fatality as well. Hopes and fears of the future are fears that we've been betrayed. And I don't think that's a fear. I think that's just the truth. We have been betrayed as a country by the people who have found their way into the head of our government. And then the future is that those deceptions are starting to come out. We are going to, the thing that I recognized in his first round in the White House is that 45 likes to talk a lot of bluster, especially when something big is coming out that's negative about him. And so a great example of this was a few weeks back, and again, this is February 23rd that I'm making this recording. A few weeks back, there was a report from Canada about election interference, and I believe that report came out on January 27th, 28th, thereabouts. Um, and on that day is when he really started talking tariffs. And he did it to control the narrative because all the news channels were talking about all the tariffs. None of them were digging into that report to figure out who was involved in election interference or what all was involved in election interference. And I will say that the report I saw had no names associated with it, and I've not seen part two. I know that part two was expected relatively quickly after. I've not had time to go look for that, so I don't want to speak too much about it. But distract, delay, and commit crime in behind the scenes. And we're going to learn what those are. All right. In 6 to 12 months, this is the Three of Coins, and it is a group of people who are leading the way. And from the outside, we can see they are fierce. Let me see if I can. There we go. That's a little less. So please note, she has one wicked looking dragon with her. Good for her. Queen of Wands. Good for her. Our hopes and future is the world, and we are standing amongst all the other countries around the world. This is what this represents, and we are hopeful that our standing comes back up. Yes, we needed to be taken down a peg. We are, pardon me, but we're arrogant. American exceptionalism was coined by, I believe, Churchill, and his thoughts behind that were that we think we're special. And having had the incredible privilege to travel to other countries, I've been to Italy and I've been to Germany. I can tell you we are not special, and they don't really think we're special. Um, and nor should they. Nor should they. We are. Yeah, I'm not gonna get off on that tangent. Anyway, so and then finally, in 6 to 12 months is the conflict. So this is the Five of Wands. And let me pause for a moment. I'm going to flip these all over and read the oracle side of these. So I'll be right back. Okay, so let's look at the oracle side of these cards. And this one starts with gone but not forgotten. And considering that in this place, this was Starboy on the opposite side, I feel like we're looking at a different person right now. I feel like this is representing 45. And when I say gone but not forgotten, actually, no, that could also include both of them, Starboy and 45. Um, I feel like with 45, he's shown quite a few signs of dementia. Um, with Starboy, he's shown quite a few signs. allegedly for both of them, um, of significant um, use of substances that alter his mind. There we go. And then crossed by being bound and tied into it. And this definitely is Bannon. He's really tied up in how things go with this administration. At the bottom, energy supporting it all is sinister motives. Hmm. Oh, I can't. My internet is a little slow, so if it's pulsing, I'm so sorry. Um, so so there's some sinister motives at the bottom of all this. I'm shocked, aren't you? I'm sorry, that was sarcasm, in case you didn't notice it. Passing away is altruistic and good intentions. That's Joe and Kamala for me. God, I miss them. Overarching energy is improvement towards a better situation, aiming for a better situation. I'm kind of angling this so we don't get all the glare off the light. And then energy coming to bear is we are not ready for that. Oh, because we're not prepared. Okay, I love that card. I don't love it for you, and I don't love it for me. All right, let me scoot those over and move on to the 0 to 3 month. At the top of all of this is a movie or for the camera. Earlier I talked about 45 doing the distract, delay, distract, and stab you in the back behind your when you're not thinking about it. When you're not paying attention to the things that he doesn't want you to pay attention to, he's going to get by with it. And I feel like a lot of what they're doing, this is talking about that. This is talking about the all the actions that are for show as opposed to what they're really doing. And but also I fully believe that eventually there's going to be movie after movie after movie or television show after television show made about this administration, about and in particularly about 45. Um, Here, they're the ones who control the narrative. They're the ones who control the story. In the hopes and fears of the future is that our rights are denied, that we don't have permission to do the things that we used to do, like, you know, freedom of speech that is not allowed certain places. And that's not to say that let's see, there's some speech that's free to share at will, but when you oppose that narrative, then you're the one that's shut down. But I will say this, before this administration was in office, freedom of speech, yes, you had freedom of speech, but you also had responsibility for what you had to say. And there are limitations on freedom of speech. You can't just, even before, you could not walk into some place that was like a movie theater and say fire. That's a common example. So anyway, and then the outcome in the 3 to 6 month is corruption and bad choices. Nothing new. And I'm so sorry. I keep hitting that as a 3 to 6 month. This is 0 to 3 months. That line is 0 to 3 months. Let me scoot those over and bring my next rows over. In case my kitties come to visit, they think it's getting close to dinner time. I don't know why. It's still an hour away, hour and a half almost. All right. So they feel like they're living the lifestyle. Man, there's some good perks for them. All for me, none for thee. Our concern is that this is going to go on for a really long time. The hopes and fears of the future is that we're gonna have some new doors opening for us, some new opportunities, some changes that make it so long term is not the case. That's our hopes and fears in the 3 to 6 month, and I got it right this time, 3 to 6 months. And then, oh, look, see, told you, hungry kitty. I'm working on the table in the kitchen, and this is their usual feeding station. And yes, we have the cat food up on the table, and that's because the dog is allergic to fish, and she will eat all the cat food that's full of fish. So, and yes, we completely are very clean when we use the table. So if you're feeling judgy about it, undo, undo, undo. All right. And then finally, this outcome in 3 to 6 month is silence. And on the other side, we had Procure, the Knight of Cups. This is the one who gets things done. Hmm. I might have had these in the opposite order. Shoot. Yep, I did. All right. So I'm sorry, guys. This is confusing. So at the top of this row is silence. And that's there's people who are keeping their mouth shut about things that are going on in the administration. And my guess, um, allegedly, a lot of people have been threatened. Externally, we want those doors to be opened. Our fears are that this is going to be a lifetime. And the 3 to 6 month outcome is lots of perks for the lifestyle. Now, that's for Starboy and Bannon at this point. Hmm. All right, so if I flip those in order into the wrong way, I did the same with this one, I think. And then 6 to 12 months living incognito. See, there we go. Here we go. Um, I feel like they're just trying to fly under the radar at this point, which is interesting because in the tarot part of this reading, I felt very strongly that at the 3 to 6 month mark, we were going to have um, somebody new in the administration, but I don't know. So I don't know who this is, the living incognito. How others see it is the transfer of power and duties. Hallelujah. May it be. May it be. The hopes and fears is that we're in too deep, that the situation is so complicated. And I suspect that that's the energy of the person who takes over that power position. And oh, yeah. And I just said, glory be basically to the power transfer. Gee, here's hoping it's a transfer of power to somebody we want it to be. Um, Careful what you ask for, you might get it. Anyway, so into deep is our hopes and our futures and our hopes and fears for the future, excuse me. And that is, have we gone so far off our rails that we can't find our way back? And so finally, um, this is the targeted attack. You go after the things you can change and you conserve your energy otherwise. And on the back of this one was the conflict card. So with this one making a targeted attack, that means, like I said, you do the things that you can do. And I want to say, um, for the collective perspective on this, we're all like feeling this. I have to do something. What can I do? How can I get involved? I will say this: pick one thing you can do. Pick one thing. If that is just calling your senators and your representatives daily to say, I'm noisy. I'm that mosquito that's going to buzz in your ear and you can't get me. I'm going to be back and I'm going to be back and buzz, buzz, buzz. If you can do that one time a day, there's the app called Five Calls. They give you the script, but the fact that you're picking up the phone and calling means that it's some form of energy expended, it's some form of attention on the fact that you do not agree with where this administration is taking the country and how they're getting us there. So, that is a significantly powerful form of resistance. And you can do this. We talk at the end of every video, you're made of stardust and magic, and you're more powerful than you know. This is what I'm talking about. You have the power to do this. I have the power to do this. We, as a collective, our power is synergistic. The more we work together, the higher we rise. We rise together. And we can make this happen. We can make this happen. Absolutely. Um, and on that note, I want to say thank you for watching the video and for being here. I hope you will subscribe and hit the hit the thumbs up button, and leave a comment. We'd love to chat. All right. Thank you. Bright blessings. Hope you have a beautiful day.